5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start. The rise in global tourism has brought with it many economic and cultural benefits, including job creation, infrastructure development, and increased international cooperation. However, one of the often overlooked consequences of the tourism boom is the significant harm it causes to the natural beauty of many regions across the world. While tourism can be a source of pride for certain destinations, it often leads to environmental degradation that diminishes the very qualities that make these places attractive in the first place. As the tourism industry grows, so too does the pressure on natural environments. The beauty of many tourist destinations, be it pristine beaches, lush forests, majestic mountains, or tranquil lakes, attracts millions of visitors each year. But with an influx of people comes an increase in waste, pollution, and the disturbance of local ecosystems. Nature, which had once flourished undisturbed, begins to show signs of stress under the weight of human presence. These stresses often manifest in a variety of ways, from the destruction of fragile ecosystems to the irreversible loss of biodiversity. One of the most visible effects of tourism on natural beauty is the degradation of landscapes due to overuse. Popular tourist spots, especially those that are not managed properly, face wear and tear from large numbers of visitors. Trails in national parks become eroded from repeated foot traffic, and fragile vegetation is trampled, which takes years to recover, if it recovers at all. The constant footfall in natural environments can lead to soil erosion, which, in turn, harms the fertility of the land and disrupts plant growth. This erosion also leads to the alteration of natural water flow, increasing the risk of flooding or landslides, especially in hilly and mountainous areas. Beaches, which are often one of the most sought-after natural wonders by tourists, suffer from the accumulation of waste and pollution. Plastics, such as bottles and wrappers, often end up on shores, contributing to unsightly landscapes and harming marine life. The disruption of local habitats can also affect the species that rely on these ecosystems. For example, turtles that lay eggs on beaches may find their nesting grounds disturbed by tourists, or coral reefs that support a myriad of marine species may be damaged by anchors from boats or divers touching delicate corals. Another area where tourism contributes to the degradation of natural beauty is the pollution of air, water, and land. The sheer number of vehicles needed to transport tourists to and from destinations leads to air pollution, particularly in areas that were once known for their clear skies or clean air. The infrastructure built to accommodate tourism, including hotels, resorts, and recreational facilities, often leads to an increase in waste production. Local governments may struggle to cope with the volume of waste generated, leading to improper disposal of materials, littering, or even the contamination of nearby water sources. Lakes, rivers, and oceans that were once crystal clear can become murky, filled with garbage and other pollutants that degrade the aesthetic value of the landscape. The chemicals used in cleaning and maintenance of hotels and tourist facilities can also seep into local water systems, further contaminating the environment. Wildlife is another victim of unchecked tourism. The influx of visitors can disrupt natural animal behaviors, such as breeding, feeding, and migration patterns. Animals, particularly those in protected areas or reserves, may become habituated to human presence, which can change their behavior and make them more vulnerable to poaching or accidents. In some extreme cases, tourists may actively harm wildlife for the sake of a photograph or souvenir, capturing endangered species or disturbing their habitats. The encroachment of human settlements and tourism infrastructure into wildlife areas leads to the fragmentation of habitats, making it difficult for animals to migrate or find adequate food and shelter. As a result, tourism can inadvertently contribute to the decline of animal populations, some of which may face the threat of extinction. The impact of tourism on cultural and natural heritage sites is another concerning aspect of environmental degradation. Many iconic landmarks, whether natural wonders or man-made historical sites, are increasingly vulnerable to damage due to the constant stream of visitors. Some sites, which were once serene and awe-inspiring, are now overcrowded and overexposed, leading to the deterioration of their physical structures. For example, ancient temples, monuments, or natural rock formations may suffer from weathering due to constant human interaction, excessive lighting, or the use of chemicals that erode surfaces. Overcrowding can also result in the crowding out of local flora and fauna that once thrived in the area, further diminishing the site's ecological and aesthetic value. The rise in tourism has also led to the construction of massive infrastructure projects, such as roads, airports, and hotels, all of which have a direct impact on the environment. Construction often involves the clearing of land, deforestation, and the alteration of local ecosystems. This leads to the loss of habitats for wildlife, destruction of natural resources, and an increase in carbon emissions. In many developing countries, the rush to build tourism infrastructure to attract international visitors can lead to poor planning, with little regard for environmental preservation or long-term sustainability. In some cases, the environmental impact of tourism can be felt even in relatively remote locations. Places that were once isolated or difficult to access now see increased numbers of tourists as modern transportation methods make these areas more reachable. For example, in some mountainous regions, once pristine environments are now facing deforestation and soil erosion as roads and hotels are built to accommodate travelers. Similarly, in remote islands and coastal areas, unsustainable fishing practices driven by tourism demand can lead to the depletion of marine resources. The long-term consequences of tourism on natural beauty are profound and, in many cases, irreversible. As tourist numbers grow, so too does the degradation of the environments that make these places special. The very landscapes that attract visitors to these destinations become compromised, leading to the loss of natural resources, biodiversity, and the aesthetic charm that initially drew people in. Stop.